Well, for those who don't know, this is Elder Amoja Ajabu, your host for Ajabu Speaks. This program is dedicated to stripping the clothes off of well-dressed lies, and there's a bunch of well-dressed lies running around here. And as I'm stripping the clothes off of these well-dressed lies, I'm going to use a point of departure from a Pan-African perspective. That means that is for people's perspective who are indigenous to the African continent. That is not based on where you was born or where you have your citizenship. Doesn't make any difference whether you was born in France or born in Germany or born right here in the United States of America. It don't make any difference. It's your perspective, or this perspective, is not based on that geography. It's based on the geography of where we were stolen from, where we came from, where we are indigenous to, the African continent. And so in looking at things from the perspective of coming from the African continent, it might run into conflict with the policies of where you were born, or the country where you have citizenship. And we do that unapologetically, because the elder is unbossed, and unafraid of the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the butt-naked truth. I want to dedicate this program, this offering, to a good friend of mine that was born today, Achebe Latif. You know, my brother. He done joined the ancestors, but I want to dedicate this program to him. I also want to dedicate it to the massacre that took place in Sharpeville, South Africa, because it was March the 21st, yesterday, that 69 of our people lost their lives at the hands of people that had stolen the land from our people because they wanted the past laws to be exist no more. So I want to dedicate it to those, and the ones that was injured too, but especially the ones that lost their life, because the cost of freedom is death. And in this regard, we hope it's the people that's oppressing us instead of ours. But before I'll get into the Sharpeville massacre, I want to deal with this situation of the damage, the vandalizing Teslas that's going on because of the way that Elon Musk is conducting himself as a member of Duck's government. We've got to understand, and I'm helping you to understand, that the people that have bought Teslas, Elon's cars, most of them bought them before Elon got into the government and is doing what he's doing. So they didn't buy those in order to support Elon. I know people that bought them because they was trying to be responsible and not use up the resources of the earth, not to erode the atmosphere. So they bought the electrical vehicle so that they could be responsible to the earth. They didn't know at the time that they was buying the vehicle that Musk is the fool that he's shown himself to be. So I see where, and it's reported that you're putting out, or some people have gotten the names of people that own Teslas and is putting it out in the public domain, so people who want to vandalize and damage those cars know people who own those cars and where to find them. No, don't do that. Don't do that. See, it's one thing, and I agree that there needs to be a response to the behavior that Elon is expressing while he's a member of Duck's government. Yeah, there needs to be a response to that. And if your response is that you want to put him out of business, don't go after the personal people that bought him, because they didn't know he was the fool that he's showing himself to be. Most of them. And even with them knowing now, it would be difficult for them to take those vehicles back after them paid for them, because they done invested a nice chunk of change to have that car. So don't. It's one thing to run Elon out of business, but it's another thing to run them out of transportation. They made a mistake, or they bought that vehicle without the knowledge that they was buying it from the fool that Elon is showing himself to be. So don't put them in harm's way. If you want to run him out of business, run him out of business, but don't run them out of transportation. They didn't know. Just a word to the wise. And that's an elder trying to help us think straight, so we act straight, because there is a place where we need to act up. Like I said, I'm dedicating this program to Latif and our people that lost their lives at Sharpeville. The Sharpeville massacre that occurred on the 21st of March, 1960, when police opened fire on a crowd of people who had assembled outside the police station. It was one of the first and most violent demonstrations against apartheid in South Africa. The Pan-Africanist Congress, PAC, and the African National Congress, created in 1959, organized a countrywide demonstration for March 21st, 1960, for the abolition of South Africa's past laws. The apartheid police shot and killed 69 of the protesters at Sharpeville, many of them while they was running away. After the Sharpeville massacre on 21st of March, the South African government banned the African National Congress and the Pan-Africanist Congress. They shut down all paths of peaceful opposition to apartheid in South Africa, because they use force. And most of those were young people. They used force because they were demonstrating peacefully against the past laws that they had to carry by people that done stole their land, was trying to tell them how to behave. The Sharpeville massacre was a turning point for the African National Congress, because they decided to respond to force with force. This Ajabu Speaks is dedicated to the lives lost by our people in the struggle for our land. Again, the massacre was on the March 21st, 1960. This is March 22nd, 2025, and this struggle still continues. Walk with me. The Trump administration, Duck, expelled South Africa's ambassador Ibrahim Rasool, giving him 72 hours to leave the country. In a social media post, Secretary of State Little Marco called Rasool a race-baiting politician who hates America and also hates Duck. Little Marco got some nerve. He's a little sissy. The explosion came after Rasul, during a webinar hosted by the South African Institute for Strategic Reflection, accused Duck of pursuing policies and practices that he characterized as a white supremacist response to growing demographic diversity in the United States. The ambassador was right on target. In a February memo issued by the General Service Administration, and this is why, that has become more widely known to the public, calls for the segregated facilities clause to be stricken from the new solicitations or contracts, along with provisions and clauses related to affirmative action in construction, among other contracts that are led by the government. The clause barring segregation in facilities was first established in 1965 by President Lyndon Baines Johnson. So where is Ambassador Rasul wrong? Duck is resurrecting the desegregation and the racism that was supposed to be eradicated by the civil rights struggle in the 60s. Now, although Ambassador Rasul is correct, we can't get distracted. We can't get caught up using energy so that we can sit by some white folks to take a dump. The game is not about where you take a dump or who's sitting in the next stall while you take a dump. Our struggle is about control of the land. We can't get distracted. Let's talk about the control of the land. Duck signed an executive order aimed at freezing existence to South Africa over a law that allows the South African government to seize farmland from white farmers who stole it without compensation. Why would you pay a thief? Duck also is upset about South Africa's stance against Israel and the war in Gaza. Duck said in an order that the United States would no longer support South Africa with foreign aid if it didn't change its policies or it continued its policy. And he ordered U.S. agencies to stop providing any aid to South Africa. The struggle continues. Duck's order also directs the United States to assist those people that stole the land and that killed the people, our people that was protesting their past laws. He has offered those people assistance. These people, those thieves, are fleeing South Africa because we have finally gotten enough of these thieves and we're taking the land back. So Duck, since they're fleeing, wants to help them to resettle in America through refugee programs. I advise them to take that offer because they got to get off the land. The South African's foreign ministry feels it's ironic that Duck makes provisions to refugees status in the U.S. for whites in South Africa who remain among the most economic privileged people in the world. They are 8% of the population of South Africa, but they own 70% of the land. And the struggle to free South Africa and Africa is about the land. How are you going to say that you are free and you done free the land and 8% of the population that stole the land still controls 70% of the land? You ain't free. You're just governing. and actually be in control. And the question for the ministry is not if it's ironic, but if we are still caught up in colonialist thinking, in that slave mentality. Walk with me. According to the U.S. Foreign Assistance website, America was seeing nearly $440 million in assistance to South Africa, including more than $270 million just from the Agency for International Development, USAID. The gross domestic product of South Africa is 380 trillion, 699 billion. What in the hell do we care about 440 million? Let's do the math. 440 million is about 0.1% of the total income of South Africa. In other words, for every $1,000 South Africa makes, Duck wants to give them $1 so that they won't take back the land stolen by the white folks. Keep your dollar, Buck. Duck, it's a pittance compared to what we working with. Buck, Duck, and I'm talking to our people now. Buck, Duck. Duck is talking about he mad because we done took back the land that was stolen from us. Buck him, let him be mad. Scratch his butt and get glad. We don't care. They got to get up off the land. They can keep those crumbs and stick it up his rum-dum-dum. We hope he has fun. We have got to get out of the mindset that we need white folks to do that which we can do for ourselves. During his annual State of the Nation address, Ramaphosa, the president of South Africa, said, we will not be deterred. We are South Africans, a resilient people, and we will not be bullied. Well, I expand that. We are Africans and we will not be bullied. We must nurture the independent liberation mindset stated by President Ramaphosa and being displayed by Captain Ibrahim Traore, President of Burkina Faso, and also uplifted by the Alliance of Sahel States. We have got to get that mentality that erodes from that Western thought that makes us think that we need white folks to do that which we can do for ourselves. We can do what we want to do. Up, you mighty people! Accomplish what you will. And look how we're rising. Ibrahim done told Duck, oh, you want to treat South Africa like that? Just because they want to slowly take back the land that has been stolen from the white folks. Look, this is how we going to do it here. We going to nationalize all of it. White folks can't own none of it. And if they got business interests, we taking that too. All that's going to be renegotiated. If they want to be on the land, they can't own it. We might rent them some on our terms, but they can't own it. And Duck, if you are upset with that, look, we upset with the way that you have treated our brothers and sisters in South Africa. We are Pan-Africanists. We make our brothers and sisters' problems our problems and solve them together. If you touch one of us, you done touched all of us. You done played games with South Africa, our brothers in South Africa talking about you need their aid, you're not going to give them aid. They don't need your aid. They got an economy that has never been fully developed because white folks are still in control of the land. Well, we taking it back. And Ibrahim, where South Africa is saying that they want to take it back slowly, Ibrahim telling we taking it back now, immediately. You don't get no time to leave or keep the land. And he told France then he got to get off the land. And if you don't get off the land, then we're going to fight you. And France says, okay, they didn't even put up a fight. They said, we're going to get up off the land. Just give us some time to move all this stuff. Well, you got a year. Get it up out of here. And they're gone. The same thing happened in Mali and Burkina Faso. They're removing themselves from that colonial mindset, that slave mentality mindset. They are Pan-Africanists. They're looking at things from an African point of view. And when you look at things from an African point of view, those white folks that done stole the land of Africa, they got to go. I'm unbossed, and unafraid of the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the butt-naked truth, puffed up. And my brother, Ramaphosa, I got to look at this unity government that you have formed. Man, why would you decide to hook up with parties who actually oppose the appointment of Ramsey to be the ambassador to the United States? And they opposed him because they said he was anti what the Zionists was doing in occupied Palestine. He was supportive of the people that are trying to stop them Zionists from carrying out the genocide in Palestine. That's the right attitude. But they said that he shouldn't be appointed to the United States because he has that attitude. Why would you hook up with them, especially when you done filed charges against Netanyahu in the World Court and won? See, you don't need to be hooking up with that slave master's mentality. And it amazes me, the brother, what's his name from the PAC that I met, brother, when I was in South Africa, Inzanelli Nyanhanso. What's up with you, man? They said that you was part of them people that was trying to stand in the way of Rasul being appointed to be the ambassador here. Have you forgot Sharpeville? What is wrong with you? You need to straighten up. And as my mama say, straighten up and fly right. What is that kind of thinking? That ain't the way we need to think. And if somebody is giving you something to get you to think that way, give it back. Let's control that which is ours. And if we control the land, they can't give us enough, because the land will give, Africa will give us more than we can ever think about expending. We are better than that. And see, because, and this is how the mentality that we need, because Ibrahim Traore took over Burkina Faso, France, I bet France was involved, tried to take the land back and wanted to overthrow him, wanted to kill him. And to do that, they had a guy that they sent with a whole bunch of money to bribe the soldiers that was in Ibrahim's army, and the soldiers, being true to self, being true Pan-Africanists, went along with it so that they could find out who was all behind it. And they told Ibrahim, they told my brother, look, man, France is over here trying to give us some money to kill you. We ain't gonna kill you, but we're gonna let you know what they're trying to do so that we can arrest them and and stop it. And that's what's happened. That's the mentality that we need. That's the mentality that's running rampant in the Sahel. It's time for us to stand up. Man, look, rectify. I'm talking to Ramaphosa, president. Rectify with Julius Malema and hook up with the EFF, the Economic Freedom Fighters. They got the mentality that you're expressing with filing that suit against Netanyahu. It's time for us to stand together. It's time for us to be who we are. And we got to know who we are. And I don't have the time to go into it because, see, with being a Pan-Africanist, there's a part that we in the diaspora can play because we are Pan-Africanists too. And if we become Pan-Africanists, then we can play a part in our liberation just by sitting down. Our very numbers say that we can't be beat. Our very numbers say we can't be beat. The United States Army has about 4 million people. There is 40 million people of African heritage that live in America. If we get organized, our very number says they can't whip us. And I mean, it's the same situation in France and Germany too. And we got 130 to 150 million backup in South America. We don't have to take this stuff that these white folks is putting down. Tell the buck to go buck itself. Twice. You've been listening to Elder Emoji Ajabu. I'm bought, I'm bossed, and unafraid of the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the bud naked truth. You can catch Ajabu Speaks every Saturday at 10:30 a.m. on the FM dial if you live in Indianapolis. If you don't live in Indianapolis, you can catch it wherever you are in the world because we stream live at www.919witt.org. I said that's www.919witt.org. If you happen to miss a program, you're in luck. We thought about you. You can catch the program on www.ajabuspeaks.squarespace.com. I said that's www.ajabuspeaks.squarespace.com. Latif, dedicated to you. The brothers and sisters that lost their life at Sharpeville, dedicated to you. We must make sure that no one controls our land but us. And Ethiopia showed us how to do it. I'm going to go into that a little bit further. You'll have to just go on to the website to get all of this, because Ethiopia showed us. Ethiopia showed us because they are the only African country on the African continent that never got colonized, because they unified. They had a strong army, and they had the heart to say, shoot, y'all ain't gonna rule us. We'll fight you, and we'll whip you, because we got heart. We know the landscape. We know the country. Who knows our community better than us? We are the ones. They can't be, there's too many of us. We just got to get organized. And I'm going to give you the numbers. I'm bought, I'm bossed, and unafraid of the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the butt-naked truth. I ain't got but one question for you. You ready? I want to go back to, and this is after Ajabu speaks. But this is the conclusion. I didn't get a chance to finish all that I had to say because I'm also taping for the radio program, and the radio program stops at 30 minutes. But I want to share with this with you. See, when you talk about the attitude that we should have, we got to understand that we the big boy on the block. We're not Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, coming over here begging to the United States because they want them to continue to fund the war that they're waging against Russia. No, we ain't begging. We got stuff. We don't have to beg. And so we got to understand that we the big boy on the block. He was begging for assistance. We got resources. If anything, America has got to beg us. President Ramaphosa, you need to reevaluate that unity government. All of the parties in the unity government, except for ANC, opposed the appointment of Ibrahim Rasool to be the ambassador to America because he don't like the way the Netanyahu and them are conducting themselves in Palestine. We must stand together. America gives those thieves and gave those thieves the intelligence that got Mandela arrested. Although the fight for Gaza is not our fight, we must support the Palestinians in their fight to control the land stolen from them by Zionists. Arafat, leader of the Palestine Liberation Organization, the PLO, did not fight the struggle that we waged in Zania against those Afrikaners. He didn't fight that, but he supported it. We must understand who we are from a Pan-African point of view. We must understand who has stood with us and who are standing with us. America did not stand with us. America stood with the white folks who stole our land. America gave those thieves the intelligence that got Mandela arrested. Why would we stand with them? Duck is still standing with the thieves that stole our land. We have no business trying to appease Duck because of a business relationship. We don't need Duck. Duck needs us. We must know who we are. Buck Duck. We must stand with our people who lost their lives at Sharpeville. It's time to fight. I am upset with you, brother. My PAC brother. I got on the gear. Brother Sobukwe would not like the position that you are taking in opposing the appointment of Rasool. That means that you done forgot the lives that were paid at Sharpeville. Quit that. That's not who we want you to be. That's not who you are. You better than that. Act like it. Now, let me speak to the brothers here in the diaspora, especially here in America. When we look at the 389 trillion gross domestic product of South Africa, it is a pittance, a small part compared to the total potential wealth of Africa. Africa's potential is so vast that no one really even knows what it is. And it is for all Africans to benefit. And it is to our benefit that Duck is forcing Ramaphosa and us too to separate our thinking from colonial thinking and move toward Pan-African philosophy, theology, democracy. It's all got to be done, and really we might want to go socialist more so than a democracy, because in a democracy and capitalism, all of the money is controlled by a few. In a socialist model, all the money is used to support the many. It's a better philosophy. The brothers of the Sahel, Alliance of Sahel States, are there. They have separated themselves from the slave mentality. Our people in the Sahel are Pan-Africanists. That means Africans, no matter where we are, born or live, can share in the wealth of Africa if we do our part. What is our part? We don't have to fight to control the land of Africa. Its wealth. Our people on the continent are going to do that. Brother Ibrahim, Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, now Senegal, they done ran France out of there. All of them brothers got armies, and all of them are coming together to say that they're going to fight that white boy that done come over to the continent and stole our land. You even got Malema in South Africa saying that he wants to join. Ramaphosa should and is being forced to understand that he needs to join by the way the Duck is interacting with him. I hope Duck keeps doing the same thing. It'll help wake our people up. However, even though we can't stop or we don't have to fight to gain the land that's the African continent, we can stop the country where we live from joining into the fight and getting in the way of the victory, as that is rightfully ours. We can free the land. Duck is already sending signals he wants to get into the fight. We can stop that just by not going to work or school, boycotting businesses here in America. To carry out our part, we have to do some preparation. Start to stock up on non-perishable food, beans, rice, water, charcoal, so that we can cook, just to mention a few. Because if they start fighting, then they're going to tear up the infrastructure. You won't have electricity. So if you get a generator, then you can have generator to run things, your icebox and your stove and your toilet until things stabilize. Now when we sit down, law enforcement is going to come around. That means that we have to have the ability to get down. We're going to have the ability to defend ourselves. Sitting down is not against the law. We have the right to sit down. And if law enforcement uses force to stop us from sitting down, then we have the right to get down. And we will win. We have to understand who we are. Let me explain. The U.S. Army has 3 million soldiers. In America, there's 40 million of us. 40 million! Properly organized and equipped, our sheer numbers ensure victory. 3.8 million can't win against 40 million. The odds are just too great. And with our heart, shoot, overwhelming victory is assured. Malcolm X taught us that history is best qualified to reward all research. Listen to the research. France has 118,000 soldiers. Burkina Faso has a population of 23 million. Ibrahim Traoré just ran the French army out of Burkina Faso. France didn't even put up a fight. Ibrahim told them to leave, and France said, okay, just give us some time to get out of here. France knew they couldn't win. The odds were just too great. But don't think France is through. France already tried to bribe soldiers to overthrow Ibrahim in September of 2023. But the soldiers stayed true to the meaning of Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso means incorruptible country. The soldiers refused to let France corrupt them and told Ibrahim that France was trying to bribe them to kill him. It is this kind of thinking that frees us from corrupt Western thought. Our sheer numbers, with proper organization, ensure victory no matter where we are located. Great Britain has 108,000 soldiers. There are 1.5 million of us there. We outnumber their fighting machine. All we got to do is get organized. Look, Germany has 63,000 soldiers in their army. There are 1 million of us in Germany. Our sheer numbers with proper organization dictate that we will win against any country that would have the nerve to fight us. We just have to get organized. Again, Malcolm taught us that history is best qualified to reward all research. If we want to know how to do something, then learn from those who have done it. Ethiopia is our example. Ethiopia has given us the lessons on how to win from its battle of Adwa. These are the lessons. We must be Pan-Africans and unify Africa. We must unify and organize as Africans no matter where we are in the world. We can be in America, France, Germany, and with unity, organization, and loyalty to Africa, our victory is assured. We must have a unified military. Our military must have one chain of command. We must be shrewd with our diplomatic maneuvering. We must be beyond corruption. We must remember the lives lost at Sharpeville. Unify and make sure no one controls our land but us. Izwe lay through. 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 That means our land. Izwe lay through. Our land. Unbought, unbossed, and unafraid of the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the naked truth. It is time for us to unify, organize, mobilize, and take our rightful place in the world order of things. You ready?